delightful, charming, sumptuous, piquant, yummy. These are words you would normally use to describe a particularly juicy apple, or perhaps melon. But today, we're using them to introduce the world's best and most scrumptious video game music podcast, Bit Harmony.
You're listening to Bit Harmony, a video game music podcast, and I am Runaway Train Never Going Matt.
That's very good. I don't have anything clever. I'm Seth, but y'all better listen to this one. Y'all better like this one. That's what I gotta say. we have bled for this episode, I feel like.
So much psychic damage has been done to me in the last 2 weeks in the name of Denshattack.
I mean, to be completely fair though, it is one of the best games of the year, and it is the front runner for soundtrack of the year as far as I'm concerned. So it is, I think, that our blood, sweat, and tears to cram all of the stuff that we normally do for the show in I don't know, in like a week or something.
Less than a week.
Is probably worth it, I guess. Maybe we'll find out. But yes, we don't ever say that we don't work for y'all.
I did not even end up buying my copy of the game until like Friday because for various circumstances I was waiting for an email to come through. So yeah, this is like 4 days, 5 days worth of effort, but a lot of that, like over 15 hours of that, was just spent playing the actual video game.
Right.
So
yeah, the game, I mean, we'll talk about it. It's longer than you would think. Yeah, we'll
and
talk.
More involved. Yeah. It's we'll talk about it. Hey, yeah, this is the Denshattack episode of Bit Harmony, sure to go down as a legendary one of these. I already have the feeling the energy coming into this one is just diabolical. Let's just get into it then with this one, I guess. Your intro this episode is I Like the Way. This is composed by Andrew One off of Denshattack, and we'll be right back.
Some more in my headphones.
louder, please. Turn it up.
And that was I Like the Way. I love my like middle-aged or near middle-aged white man voice saying I like the way.
I was just thinking to myself, it's so good that we have like a clean clip of you saying that in that just I like the way.
I like the way. Okay, my first note for this song is just
Yeah, fair. This is probably, I think this is probably the song where I really stopped and like considered the like, oh yeah, like this is gonna be the soundtrack this year. Like this is gonna be the one. I think this was
is our
the song.
Tekken 8 of 2026. Yes. Yeah,
that's yeah, the perfect way of putting it. Yeah, it does feel that way. And yeah, it's a great sort of just like 90s DJ energy kind of thing. It has that you know, that classic Sega sound to it. Perfect, you know, opening intro song. And yeah, I love it. I have some more specific notes, but yeah, talk to me about it.
Yeah, I had the same thing you did, where this was the stage and the song specifically where I knew Denshattack was going to be an all-timer.
Yeah.
But what's remarkable about that is that this is like, I don't know, like the 5th level in the game or something. This is not super far in.
Yeah.
You are still being tutorialized. You're still spending a large chunk of these early levels being tutorialized on new mechanics. And so to this early on, for me to be like, oh, like, yeah, we probably just hit soundtrack of the year. We probably just hit one of my favorite games of the last like 5 years. All in this level alone, largely because of this song. I don't know, it's so the game is constantly moving with so much confidence, but this was the moment for me where it just all came together. And again, I'm so glad it came together like that so early, because then you just get a whole, like, again, 10 to 15 hours, like 8 more worlds worth of just this sublime video game moving with this level of confidence.
Confident is the right word for it, because yeah, it feels so self-assured in just exactly what it is. I can't think of too many other video games that feel like just the it's this very unique idea that is executed perfectly. Like they have executed on this unique idea absolutely perfectly, and all of the influences that you can feel in this music, again, I've already like very Sega kind of coded in general, obviously very like Jet Set Radio inspired and Tony Hawk inspired and stuff like this. But then you get to something like this song that I think has like I think this song is really the best song for us to intro this episode with, because to me it kind of is like almost the thesis of the game, like in song form, which is, here's this thing that is very, you know, irreverent to games like Jet Set Radio and Sega in general and stuff like this, and it does sound like that late 90s, all this stuff. It has all that energy, but it still does little things that kind of give it its own unique flavor. In particular, my favorite part of the song is at 208. There's a really cool little section of call and response between this little like clean, you know, electric guitar sound kind of in like the, you know, the high end of the, you know, the register, just kind of doing its thing. And then there's a call and response with this traditional string instrument. I don't know if it's just like a mandolin or a koto or something like that, but it kind of ties into the themes of the game of like, I don't know, like the sort of new world and old world having to learn to work together, you know, and stuff. And that's kind of represented in the song, in this very, you know, again, very like chopped up, you know, DJ kind of song. And I think that's really cool.
And obviously we'll get more into like the story of the game again, of which there is a lot more than you're probably expecting there to be. I do want to specifically, that's a very good point about like, yeah, the new meets old kind of thing, the old guard passing on teachings and philosophies and everything. And that actually comes into play very heavily in this level that the song plays in.
Yeah.
This is where you get tutorialized on the 8 million roads. I forget what they shorten it as something else. There's a shorthand way to refer to it, but basically it's this kind of zen-like state you get into as you're doing tricks in your train. And if you're not aware of Denshattack, this is like a skateboarding game, but you're in a train, basically. Again, we'll talk more about it in a bit, but if you reach this like zen-like state, basically just by getting a certain amount of points in the level, you can get onto this like these 8 million roads, and these are like rainbow tracks and rails that you can get onto with your train, and they lead you to alternate like paths. Usually you can find like hidden collectibles or even sometimes alternate exits there, and that's all cool. That's a sick gameplay mechanic, the idea that, hey, if you perform well enough in the level, you score high enough within a certain amount of time, you can access this to get to a new area of the level that you might have otherwise missed. In this level, it's the tutorial. They forced you to see it and understand it, right? But when you first get onto the 8 million roads in this case, and it just blasts you into the sky, basically. You just go straight up. It's like a roller coaster. You're like blasting forth into the blue sky. The game is very, very, as we said before, late 90s, Sega Dreamcast. Blue skies, green grass, everything just looks beautiful. And yeah, you're blasting into the sky on these like rainbow magnetic railroad tracks, and you're going to this color vortex while this song is playing. And then the main character, Emmy, straight just yells, "I love this."
Yes.
And that hit me so hard. Because it's, it sounds so basic, but when do you ever in like any medium anymore, not just video games, but anything, just hear a character just express that level of just like pure optimism and joy at something that's cool happening, After I beat the game, this is the first level I came back to go back and get a higher score in. And I got teary-eyed just at her exclamation of, "I love this."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I do love this. This is amazing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's such a good point. I love that you bring that up, because this game, one of my favorite things about this game is how earnest it is. Like, it is just, I think that some people will look at it and find it maybe saccharine or cringy or something like that. But I love how just earnest it is. And yeah, the main character, Emmy, just how much she loves doing what she's doing. And she legitimately loves it. And kind of the way of like loving what you're doing in like a hopeless time is so important. And like, yeah, having that kind of outward expression is so important. Yeah, I do. I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have like too many other specific notes on the song. It just, it had to be the intro. I think this is like probably the easy choice, but also this is probably my favorite song in the whole game. It just, it really is like the perfect encapsulation of the entirety of Denshattack to me in just one song.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good stuff. Perfect one to open with.
Also, it is extremely sexy for a game about doing skateboard tricks with a train.
There are a couple songs that like I stopped myself short of adding the word sexy to my notes, but there are a few sexy songs in this.
I will never refrain from calling the songs we play on the show sexy. What do we have then for general housekeeping?
Not much, really. I'll just, kind of just mention, like, if you want to support the show, if you like what we do here, hey, leave us a 5-star review. That is very helpful wherever you listen. Helps us climb the search rankings and everything. I imagine that a lot of y'all must be like Vietnamese bots or something, because our pleas in the last episode seem to have had no effect. So we'll see how that all shakes out for us. But yeah, you can do that. You can leave comments on Spotify, comments on Patreon. We'll shout them out on the show if you want to do that. So we appreciate it. I do, just sort of as a, we always do our postmortems on the previous episode. There is a really cool little story that Phelan shared in the Discord that I wanted to just share here. I assume he's okay with it because he posted it in Discord. So
yeah, I assume so too.
Phelan had mentioned after the last episode went live and he listened to it He said, "You guys have no idea what kind of rabbit hole I've fallen into with Kaze no Notam this morning," which is the song that we outroed the last episode with, the Notam of Wind song.
Solitude, I think.
Yeah. And so I guess he heard that and he was intrigued enough to look into it, which, yeah, hey, you should be. And he elaborates. Phelan says, "If I can indulge for a second, Solitude is amazing, and so naturally, my mind gets to getting the game for my collection. Being an import, I want to see if the game piques my interest enough to deal with the hassle of importing it and a Japanese PS1. Quick note, probably not worth doing all that."
If you want to check it out, at least emulate it first
Just
before
emulate
diving down
it's fine.
that path. Yeah,
It's fine. Phelan continues, "I found a review of the game on some website. The writer recounts a time he took a class on hot air ballooning and specifically mentions a pilot he briefly flew with named Wild Bill. My late step-grandfather was a famous bush pilot that went by the name Wild Bill. I'm not sure if he ever did anything with hot air ballooning, but it's entirely possible that this writer met my step-grandfather. I've sent text messages to my family to see if things line up or if this is a different Wild Bill. My research is showing that that's a relatively common nickname for aviators named Bill."
Can I just interrupt and just say I love that all aviators named Bill are just Wild Bill. That is incredible.
It's like an understood sort of thing. Like, hey, if you're an aviator and your name's Bill, you should probably just go by Wild Bill. It's kind of a thing. And then, Phelan concludes with, "It's probably not him, but the coincidence of going from Bit Harmony to Kaze no Notam to this website to my late step-grandfather," I keep wanting to say late great step-grandfather, "is a wild ride I was not expecting to travel when I woke up this morning." So I just thought that was a great story and I wanted to share it as a post-mortem.
I think I said it in the Discord, but that kind of was like a YouTube comment that we would read off on the show.
Totally.
But within our own Discord and whatever. Yeah, I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, super fun. And look, it gives us a sentence like, "My research is showing that that's a relatively common nickname for aviators named Bill." So, yeah.
It also that made me think of the Arrested Development bit where Job purposely locks himself in prison and then is doing magic tricks, and there's someone named White Power Bill that he pulls like a penny from his ear. And he's like, he looks like somebody's got dirty ears, and then they start calling him Dirty Ears Bill.
Yeah, I do like the notion of just like it's so easy to accidentally fall into a new nickname or something. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had.
Yeah, I have one just a quick note, which it's gonna sound like I'm being petty. I swear I'm not. I think it's very funny. The Sicko Songs of Summer is like our worst performing episode of the show by far. Like, not even close. I just think that's very funny. I love the idea that people got scared off by the title.
Well, yeah, I mean, the title's not very SEO friendly, but we don't care about that. We actually talked about what we wanted to title the episode for, like, a little bit of time, like probably more than we normally would, because it's usually pretty self-evident. But yeah, people are probably like, "Oh, I can't handle the Sicko Songs of Summer." And yeah, the ironic thing about that is, and I think I said it during the episode, like, pound for pound, probably my favorite collection of music we've had in an episode like that ever. So they're missing out.
I would say, yeah, hey, you listening, there's a good chance that you didn't listen to the Sicko Songs of Summer. At the very least, if you don't want to hear us talking about the Sicko Songs of Summer, you can always check out the YouTube playlist that I curate for every single episode and just listen to all of the music from that episode. There are some truly great things in there. Arctic Eggs, still thinking about it. I will very, very quickly note, I did install Arctic Eggs and I played the tutorial. And there was some weird rendering thing going on. Like, the game runs fine, but it was just rendering really weird, and the screen was like 80% like black, and it just wasn't working right. And I haven't dug more into it. I've been busy the past week. Yeah, sure. Mostly related to waiting for emails that don't come. But I will try and get back to it at some point. Even just the tutorial teaching you how to flip the eggs, I was already like, oh, this is so tactile and fun. But again, give me a Joy-Con Switch 2 version of it, please. I would love to do it with motion controls.
That'd be great. Yeah.
With all of that nonsense out of the way, we have a maybe lean, maybe mean Sean Capri presents the state of the Nintendo Music Address. I say lean and mean because there's actually gonna be, for once, maybe not really almost anything to say here, which is kind of a relief, to be honest. In the past few weeks of Nintendo music drops, they have blessed us with F-Zero 99, Mario Paint, Super Mario Maker, New Super Mario Bros., New Super Mario Brothers Wii, and New Super Mario Brothers U free roam rearrangements for Mario Kart World. I swear, despite how long that is, there's actually not that much in there to talk about. Donkey Kong Bonanza for the 1-year anniversary of that game. And then Mario Kart Super Circuit and Mario Kart Double Dash free roam rearrangements from Mario Kart World. We'll start with F-Zero 99, which, again, there's not going to be too much to talk about here. I'll note the original composers, because I do believe F-Zero 99 is mostly consisting of the original versions of these songs. I could be wrong, but the original F-Zero was composed by Yumiko Kanki and Naoto Ishida. There are some new remixes / rearrangements in F-Zero 99. Like, they kind of do this thing where they mash together songs, and I'm not sure fully who did the new arrangements, but I did find someone on Blue Sky named Ina Almacen on Blue Sky, goes by Niter Queen on there, and they were saying how delighted they are that they and Eric's work is now featured in Nintendo Music about the F-Zero 99. Okay. And I could not find who Eric is in that sentence, but so thank you to Ina and Eric in this case. I didn't play that much F-Zero 99, so this is actually my first time hearing those like remix songs, and they're fun. I don't have that much else to say about them though. Like it's cool that like Nintendo had this game where they officially did chiptune remixes of their own music and whatever.
Right.
But I just don't have that much to say about it because I didn't play enough F-Zero 99 to experience them myself.
Yeah, me either. I'm not like I don't know, like okay, I'm gonna piss people off saying this, I guess. I'm not that big of an F-Zero guy. Like,
okay, if anyone's pissed about that, I don't know what to tell you. I love F-Zero and I'm not upset in the slightest.
Yeah, I feel like people who love F-Zero like really love F-Zero, and like I like it. You know, I've had my stints. I just feel like for me with F-Zero GX, like we reached the zenith. You know, like for me, I don't really see how it gets better than that for that franchise. And if I'm being honest, I'm kind of okay with it just being what it is. With F-Zero 99 being this kind of thing that exists, it's a cool idea, it works well, and I'm kind of okay if this is all F-Zero ever is. With that being said, I probably would have said the same thing about Star Fox. So I also think that maybe there is some merit in the idea of maybe revisiting it. That's a complete tangent, but the reason that I bring that up is because I also am a little indifferent to F-Zero's music. There are some tracks with F-Zero music that I really love, you know, and I in the moment I think it suits the game perfectly. But it isn't the kind of stuff that I listen to when I'm not playing the game, you know. And
sure.
And so like it's very cool. This is definitely for me the standout drop of this batch because I just think it's cool that we have it. And yeah, to just underline what you said, I think it is cool that Nintendo has like remixed their own music in this way. That's really cool. But I still don't know if I'm ever gonna like listen to it again, you know?
I do really like F-Zero music, but when I think of F-Zero music, I'm more so thinking of, again, F-Zero GX, which, like, the character themes of that game alone, like, we could do an episode just about that, like, just the character themes, no level themes of F-Zero GX, and I'd be pretty excited about that. Honestly, might have to just make a note of that for later. And yeah, I don't know, I love Silence from the original F-Zero, but, like, and obviously, you know, Mute City and Big Blue, those are iconic and whatever, but yeah, it doesn't, it's not something that I, like, think about when it comes to Nintendo's offerings that much. Again, F-Zero GX is a different beast, but that's also, I forget, that's like the Monkey Ball and Yakuza composer that made that, right? So it's like, that's just like a very different thing. So it's not fair for me to compare these, but yeah, I just think it's cool that I wouldn't have expected Nintendo to actually add F-Zero 99 to Nintendo Music. I think that's maybe the most notable thing to me. It wouldn't have even like come up in my thoughts of something they would add.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess it is. I guess you're right. I wouldn't have thought of that either. It's a pleasant surprise to see it there, but I guess it does make more sense than something like Tetris 99, you know, popping up on there. Yeah.
It's been a very long time since I played Tetris 99. That does have its own unique music, though, right? I know you can unlock the different themes, but like, does the default theme that is its own music? I assume, but I don't quite remember. You know?
Yeah, I haven't played it in years. You know, we're in Sean Capri's segment. Shout out to Sean. He still plays Tetris 99 every time there's a new Maximus Cup. He boots it up still. He plays it all the time. It's like, I think he said it was his favorite Nintendo Switch era game.
I only know a few things about Sean Capri, and that he loves you in Squadron, that he loves Diet Coke, and that he loves Tetris 99. Those are like the three things I know about him. Tetris 99 is super cool.
It's great.
It's one of those things where as time has gone on, you know, it just gets sweatier and sweatier in there. And it was already pretty sweaty in there like 6 years ago. So, I love Tetris. I think Tetris 99 is super cool, but I've got the fear in my eyes. I think I did re-download it like 2 or 3 years ago, and I used to get it in the top 5 consistently. I couldn't even crack like the top 50, and that was years ago. I'm like, no, I'm good now. I don't need this anymore.
Dude, this is a total tangent, but did you happen to see the Tetris section of SGDQ this year?
I think it was on like middle of the night Germany time, if I remember correctly.
Dude, you gotta go back and watch that. That is the craziest Tetris play I've ever seen. It's like, if you're only going to watch one run from SGDQ this year, if you're the type of person that goes back and watches VODs, watch that Tetris section. It was awesome.
Multiple GDQs have had amazing Tetris moments. I never even had heard of Tetris the Grandmaster until they played it at GDQ, however many years ago that was. I forgot they added those to Switch on the eShop. I should get one of those at some point. Here I am thinking we would blast through the Sean Capri section of the show today. Fool indeed. Hey, we're going to skip over Mario Kart World for a second and go to Donkey Kong Bonanza. This was composed by Naoto Kubo, Daisuke Matsuoka, Reika Nakai, Yuri Goto, and Tsukasa Usui. Hey, we don't need to talk about this very long because we did a whole dang episode on the show on Donkey Kong Bonanza a little under a year ago. That was meant to be the closer for Summer of Nintendo before Nintendo blessed us with Chibi Robo at that point. So I guess we can talk a little bit about the fact that, you know, it was so new when we did that episode, we didn't want to talk about spoilers.
Yeah.
Hey, we can mention the Gangplank Galleon rearrangement in here now, so that's pretty cool.
It's great. Yeah, that is one of my favorite tracks in the game. Yeah, and yeah, I do that. We were kind of like cagey about spoilers, but now that the game's been out for over a year, it's probably safe, right?
I'm sure someone would tell me no, but I think it's safe.
It's not that big of a deal anyway.
It's really not. Like, it's just pure fan service mostly. I mean, again, we only talked about the first half of the set of levels because that was what Nintendo had revealed up to release of the games. Like, you know, we didn't talk about like the dance hall level and like the big cheeseburger land level and stuff. And hey, I love the giant cheeseburger and I love the disco land and stuff. But Yeah, I haven't listened to the Donkey Kong Bonanza episode in a while, but I'm pretty proud of that episode in terms of like how kind of, I don't know, thoroughly we avoided spoilers while still having an uncompromised conversation about the game. So if you want to hear more Donkey Kong Bonanza music, go listen to that episode. Lastly, then, we have to have our, of course, our standard
obligatory,
our reading of the Mario Kart World composers.
It's almost like a ceremonial prayer. Like, let us pray.
Yeah. This is how you reach the 8 million roads, is by reading the Mario Kart World composers. Mario Kart World was composed by Atsuko Asahi, Maasa Miyoshi, Takuhiro Honda, and Yutaro Takakuwa. If I'm honest, I think this batch of stuff from Mario Kart World, all the new Super Mario Bros. Stuff and Mario Kart Super Circuit and Double Dash, I think this is probably the worst drop they've had with this. I didn't really realize how kind of dire some of these were. I mean, again, when I say dire, I'm speaking to Mario Kart World standards. I'm not, of course, saying dire as an objective qualifier in this case. I'm just saying that I have no desire to listen to New Super Mario Bros. Remixes in Mario Kart World when there's much cooler stuff out there. That's all I'm saying with it, right? There are some cool things. Like, I love, again, I think we broke for it last year in the mid-year episode, but I love, the Mario Paint remixes are cool. The painting mode remix and stuff. Amazing. Incredible that they did that. Also, I really like, the Mario Maker title screen. Like, when it comes to the Mario Kart Super Circuit and Double Dash ones, I literally only cared about Luigi Circuit, which is not even a song I care about that much on its own, but Mario Kart World rearrangement's great, but yeah, there really just wasn't much here across all of these. I was actually kind of surprised how little I cared about with these batches.
Well, I mean, you're not even talking about necessarily the quality of what we got, but even just the quantity of what we got. There actually isn't much there in terms, like, you'll look at the playlist for New Super Mario Brothers or whatever, and there's like 2 songs on it. Like, literally, this is, I mean, the reason that they dropped so many of them in one kind of grouping like that is because total it's probably like 10 songs. you know. So yeah, it definitely feels like we're kind of I mean, I don't know how objectively true this is, but it feels like we're kind of we're scraping the bottom of the barrel a little bit. So maybe if they keep up this kind of weekly free roam release cadence, I do wonder how much more they have in the tank at this point, but still, like, if this is the worst we get, that's not actually that bad, I guess.
Yeah, and again, like I said a million times in the segment before, this is all just for fun, and obviously the Mario Kart World soundtrack is amazing overall. It's just that if we're evaluating this on a weekly basis, this is just a weaker couple batches of Mario Kart World song drops. That's all I'm saying. I am fully expecting them to drop the Mario Sunshine rearrangements in August, because that's going to be coming up on like the 24th anniversary of Mario Sunshine, and then drop that on NSO. It's crazy they still haven't dropped that on the GameCube app. That's just do it so we can get rid of it. I don't care about stinky Mario Sunshine. Just get it out of here. Just drop it so that everybody can move on with their lives, and just take it off the plate of potential things that are coming to that service. Just get it done, Yeah. When it comes to a grade for this batch of drops, I'm really, really struggling between a C+ and a B-. The charitable part of my brain wants to bump up to B- because I do think F-099, again, not super something I'm interested in, but it's cool that it's here. And Donkey Kong Bonanza, incredible sound. I'm going to bump it up to a B-. I talked myself into it right there. You heard that live on air.
There is no charitable part of my brain left. I'm going with C+. No, I mean, I agree, but to me, I feel like I don't know, like, I feel like I've been too nice with Nintendo Music grades for a while, and I feel like I have to let the letter grade speak truly to the content of my heart, which is that out of everything that dropped in this batch, like, truthfully, Donkey Kong is going to be the main thing that I actually, add to my playlist and listen to with any regularity. So that's why I'm gonna do a C+. I'll be the
you
bad
know what
guy.
you talked me into it right now. I'm also good. No, I'm just joking. I'm gonna stick with a B or a B minus. No damn ways as a B plus. No, I totally get it. I mean, it's one of those things where until we start talking about it just now, I was like, damn, the Donkey Kong Bonanza soundtrack is amazing. It is really good soundtrack, but
yeah.
I'm willing to let it do the legwork of bumping it up to a B minus, but I completely understand where you're coming from with that. And I guess I've just been so broken in the past week that I decided to not let the cycle of hatred continue. I responded to Donkey Kong Bonanza's email. That's what we're going with here.
There you go.
This will be a running theme throughout the show.
I was wondering.
Just so everyone knows, I will bring this up repeatedly, and no one will have any idea what I'm talking about besides you, and that's totally fine. That's how I want it. Anyway, let's go on our first dedicated break for Denshattack stuff, I guess, besides the intro. We've got Beppu Ramen Express and Infinite Sunset, both from Denshattack. Beppu Ramen Express was composed by Sean Bialo, and Infinite Sunset was composed by Hiro Harding, and we will be right back. And that was Beppu Ramen Express and Infinite Sunset, both from Denshattack. You know, we talked about with I Like the Way that was like the moment I knew I loved this game. And that's still probably true, but you know, Beppu Ramen Express, this literally is the first level. Not even the first full level, but this is the tutorial level. Like you don't really even have freedom to do the things you normally are doing in the rest of the game throughout most of this level. And when even the tutorial level song is on this level, that's when you know you're going to have a good Bit Harmony episode.
Yeah, it really is. It really is crazy. In some ways, this almost feels like the theme song of the game or something. Like it kind of, I don't know, like something about that. I feel like rings true, and I guess it is just because like it is like one of the first songs that you hear, and I know I've already said it, but like, this couldn't be more Dreamcast if it tried. Like this might as well be a Sonic Adventure song. Yeah. Like even the tone of the guitar reminds me of that damn that song from Sonic Adventure with that guitar. It's like it's like it's at the Station Square or whatever.
Station Square. Yeah.
Yeah, that it immediately reminded me of that. It's got those kind of like ethereal synth notes in the background against like the very in-your-face D&B percussion and like wind flute melody and violin. To me, that era of music is represented by a lot of sounds that shouldn't work together but do anyways. And that's kind of what's going on here. It's very good.
Yeah, I had a lot of notes about Sonic Adventure stuff. Yeah, I had notes about Sonic Adventure ass electric guitar solos, stuff like that. But yeah, like you're saying, it really is like it sounds a lot like that hub area of the original Sonic Adventure.
Yeah.
But then the actual level in Denshattack really reminds me of the first like actual platform. Is it the first when Sonic's getting chased by the whale?
Yeah.
In Sonic Adventure, like that's basically the entire visual identity of all of Denshattack is that specific moment. They made a whole damn game of that somehow. You know.
Yeah. It definitely, like, the way that's presented, like the scale of it and stuff like that, like it definitely does feel that way. So it makes sense. Like it makes sense to almost like reference that with this song. Yeah.
And even though we keep comparing this to Sonic Adventure, which I the direct Sonic Adventure comparisons I don't think are going to last that long, or at least they're not going to happen all the time. Because Denshattack is referencing a lot of just that era of video games, period. Like kind of like all throughout the 90s, like arcade style and Sega influences or whatever. And even though we keep talking about Sonic Adventure for this song specifically, I still love that it's its own thing. Like even though they are referencing the electric guitar solo in Station Square and whatever, it still feels like a Denshattack song, and I think largely that just comes down to there's all these like train soundscape references, like the constant driving drum beat. It really just brings to mind a train chugging along the tracks at a high rate of speed. This song and other songs throughout the whole soundtrack incorporate like, you know, railroad crossing sounds at a couple spots and everything. It's just such a perfect start to an adventure song.
Yeah.
And I just really loved it. Like I had Denshattack marked down as a Bit Harmony episode basically within the first 30 seconds of playing the demo because of this song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely sells itself like right away. This is one of those games where you will know within like 5 minutes if this game is your thing or not. You know?
When it comes to Infinite Sunset, I feel like I'm going to say I might have even literally written this down for like every song so far and afterwards, but this was like an instant ad for me when I was listening to the soundtrack, trying to pick songs. Like just those horns, man, but it's not just the horns, also like the very, very subtle violins that are behind the horns, and they're so quiet you might not even notice them without headphones. It is so end credits of an anime to me.
My first note on this is how dare you? Like it should be it should be illegal for a song in a video game to begin at the level that Infinite Sunset does. Like, when it starts, like, it immediately is the funkiest song you've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, no build up, just boom. Here we are, like, in this zone. And the fact that it starts there is not to say that it has no sense of build, because it does. Like, by the time we reach at about a minute in, the harmonizing guitars that lead into both a sax solo and an electric guitar solo, like, I have at that point fully ascended. Like, I am no longer with you all on this plane. I'm somewhere else listening to this. If I were to ever run a marathon in my life, I would want this on my playlist. When I listen to Infinite Sunset, I feel like I could run through a brick wall, dude.
Yeah. No, yeah. At that point, you're running this hypothetical marathon. You're gonna get onto the 8 million roads. Like the street beneath you is gonna turn to a rainbow, and you're just gonna go rushing above everyone else. And
I'm gonna be flying in the air and doing wall rides and stuff. Yeah.
It's a very impressive feat for any song that, like, so heavily features like horns and saxophones and whatnot. For me to love the horns that much, but for the electric guitar to still be the standout. Like, I'm not even a big electric guitar guy, but all the noodling they do on the damn guitar throughout the song is insane.
Yeah, and yeah, like, just the harmonies are so clean. Like, when they harmonize those guitars, like, it is an expertly produced piece of music. Yeah.
Even just the name Infinite Sunset is so, and there are multiple instances of just the song titles themselves being incredible, but this one in particular is like, it is the most evocative thing. Like, yeah, it just makes me think of Outrun, which is funny because there are other songs that directly reference Outrun, but Infinite Sunset is like, yeah, no, I'm driving along the coastline at sunset or something, like, it is just so evocative.
Yeah, and it is kind of like I don't know, like a reprise or maybe like a side B to the song Infinite Sky. So there is kind of like that kind of going on with it too. But yeah, like it does have that energy. Like it makes me, you remember that trend that was going on TikTok or whatever, where for a while there you would see these memes of people being like, all right, I'm gonna head out, and then they would just run into like the fog or or like the tree line. That's what I want to do when I listen. I want to just run into the sunset. I want to say I'm gonna head out and just run into the sunset while listening to this song.
Yeah. It's funny that something about like sunrises and sunsets, it just makes me want to just like drive away. Like, I don't know if that sounds bad or something, but yeah, I have a very specific memory of driving home from work at my awful third shift stocking job when I was in my early 20s, and the sun was rising. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. What if I just kept driving?
Yeah, we have, I think, as humans, like a strange I don't know, a strange like moth-like quality when we see a sunrise or a sunset where we just want to head to it. I think that like a sunrise or a sunset, I think, triggers something in our brain that promises like possibility on the horizon. It kind of, when sun is kind of cast part way over the horizon, it reminds you that there is a horizon at all, and in that way, it kind of like, I don't know, it kind of makes you want to drive toward that horizon. It kind of like gives you a sense of hopeful possibility. And it reminds you even of something as constantly true, but not always constantly present, as like the curvature of the earth that you're on. It's a very grounding thing, the sun, Your
haiku is going to go insane this episode, isn't it?
It really isn't. My haiku is very phoned in this episode, but
got my co-host over here talking about the curvature of the earth and the endless possibilities of the sun.
I remember Kojima said something like he will feel like this was, I think, around the time Metal Gear Solid 4 was coming out, that he will feel like he had achieved like his masterwork with the digital medium of video games when he can perfectly capture a sunset. I remember him saying something like that, and I think that's why a lot of his games have sunsets, including Metal Gear Solid 4. And anyway, that I always thought that was charming, and I always thought that like there is something very human about the idea of like, yeah, everybody who has ever lived has looked at the same sun, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I'd never heard that Kojima quote before, and then also knowing that he was, you know, involved with Boktai, The Sun Is in Your Hands, also
dude just loves the sun. Dude's just a big sun guy.
I mean, yeah, like Death Stranding is basically just like a nature appreciating simulator. So yeah, that actually that explains basically everything that I ever questioned about Kojima. Nature besides his rules. Weird sexualizing of women,
yeah, no kidding. nature is awesome. Like, and you know, this game even kind of is a little bit about that. So there's something to that.
As I've gotten older, and my wife is way more into like she's gotten me way more into nature, is what I'm basically trying to say, and. Yeah, not that I'm anywhere near on her level or anything, but yeah, I do have an appreciation for not even when I'm saying this, I don't even just mean, yeah, you know, like the sky and trees and whatever, but even like, yeah, insects and whatever that I normally, or that I used to be maybe even like grossed out by. I find them a little more interesting now and whatever. As long as they're not in my damn house, then we have issues at that point. I think that's everything I had for Infinite Sunset.
Yep.
The last thing I had is just that I talked about the ending credits of an anime before it. It really gave me like end credits of Fooly Cooly vibe, not just the song itself, but like they're riding like the moped, like a real life moped in from Fooly Cooly, and like taking all these shots of like Japan from the moped or whatever. That's what this song made me think of, and kind of this whole game made me think of.
Dude, I was just gonna say that this game is so Fooly Cooly. It's so like Gurren Lagann, like it. Yeah, definitely.
I've still never seen Gurren Lagann. I know I would like it. I would go so far as to say I know I would love it. I just have never gotten around to it, but I know enough about it to instantly, despite never seeing it, I was like, after the first boss, I'm like, oh, this seems very Gurren Lagann.
Totally, yeah. My ex-girlfriend that was her favorite like thing, like just fictional work. Period. So within like a month of getting to know her, I was basically forced to read the entire manga series and watch the entire anime series of Gurren Lagann. And it's really good. It's one of my favorites too. But that is those two things are definitely. And Fooly Cooly, by the way, is my favorite anime ever. So those can definitely be felt in the DNA of this game. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say within a month she was forcing you to use a drill all the
time. Yeah, I mean that too.
With that said, then, if we got other notes on these two songs, let's talk about some Denshattack. Denshattack, released on July 15th, 2026. Hey, that was just a few days ago. For the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch 2, and PC. It is apparently on some tier or another of Game Pass if you play there. I can't tell you how excited I would be if I had Game Pass, how cool of an addition to Game Pass this is. Like this, imagine playing this game for free. Wouldn't that be amazing?
The only thing that would be better is if you had early access to it and you're able to prepare for an episode of your podcast.
Yeah, if emails were answered, that would be the dream. Denshattack was developed by undercoders. There's really not that much information out there about undercoders. They are a development team out of Spain that I think has mostly made mobile games up to this point. I know that you and I probably, I guess I shouldn't say for you, but for me, I can definitely say I most know them from Mail Mole, at least prior to Denshattack. And again, I'm going to preface this by saying I really liked Mail Mole for what it was. It was good. It's a totally fun, competent little like speedrun oriented game where you're playing as a mole and you're digging underground, and it's again time attack based. To go from Mail Mole to Denshattack, I think is maybe the biggest glow up in all of video games that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's really unbelievable that this is made by the same people. I mean, there is some moles are kind of a big part of Denshattack too, weirdly. There is a little Mail Mole Easter egg also in here. Did you catch that? There's like a little Mail Mole plushie on the desk of the HQ, the fanzine HQ.
Yeah, I did. And then like one of the bosses is in a mole train, and the main mascot of Miraido is
Molty.
He basically is like a more harsh and scary version of the titular male mole. So yeah, it is. Moles are everywhere throughout this game, which is kind of a funny thing. But what is Denshattack? You've been hearing us talk about it and its music, and you just keep hearing us say it's like a train skateboarding game. And I think that's kind of what the memes have reduced it to, that this is like the goofy train skateboarding game. And yeah, it is that, but what I would try and simplify it down to is a on-rails high-score focused platformer. It is kind of a combination of the old Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, but also some Ollie Ollie in there as well. Some Runner 2 and 3, and again, maybe the most obvious inspiration, like the behind-the-shoulder sections from modern 3D Sonic games. I know I just threw a ton of things at you, but basically, think of like a more on-rails Tony Hawk game, and you're in trains, and it's very anime-inspired, and that's basically Denshattack. You are controlling a train that's moving forward throughout the level, and you're having to use your verb set to avoid crashes and obstacles and proceed through the level and get a high score as you go, basically. When you're in the air, you can also do tricks by moving your right analog stick around in various ways. Like the more complicated the motion, the more higher ranking the trick is, and thus more points you earn from it and whatnot. You can mostly, if you want, just focus on getting through the levels. But yeah, if you're focused on score chasing, it turns into one of my favorite types of games, again, like Ollie Ollie World and Runner 2, where you are laser focused in and you're hunting for any spot to where you can do a jump and a trick real quick while still being able to safely like land and keep your manual or whatever going, right? Like, you are constantly doing this risk reward dance of trying to look ahead and having to restart the level over and over and over, and even partially memorizing the layout to get a slightly higher score. But again, that is just one of my favorite things. We can talk more advanced like techniques and whatever later if you want, but was there anything I missed in like the generalities here?
No, yeah, we can get into more detail later, but yeah, just to underline kind of what you're saying, this game can be played like if you are somebody who does not want to get into the weeds on score chasing and really getting like getting into like the depths of this game. You don't have to. Like the game is for the most part fairly generous with its kind of win condition of just getting to the end of the level or meeting like sometimes some kind of score requirement or whatever to just progress. Like if you want to just blast through the game, you mostly pretty much can. So for as if you're watching like footage of the game or whatever, you're gonna feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And it can be overwhelming. There is a lot going on, to be sure, but the game does a really good job of having constant variety, but still kind of like doling out its mechanics to you and getting you comfortable with them while not losing the breakneck pace of it, and also giving you that wiggle room to engage with it on a very casual level if you want to. It's a hardcore game that can be played at least, relatively casually. And just I guess TLDR, like, don't be scared of this game.
Yeah, do be scared if you insist on getting all gold medals, because I think that is genuinely. I don't think I have that dog in me anymore. I think without online leaderboards, I don't think I'm gonna even attempt something like that.
Dude, there are a couple where I'm like, there's no way I'm getting like the gold medal on this. There's just no way.
So I will say I had that thought, like, more and more as I got like into the mid game and then through the end of the game. But after I beat the game and I had all these different like trains unlocked, I'll just say real quick, I did go back to even some of these like mid to late game levels and start getting the gold medal in at least the score category. Some of the levels, and we'll talk about this in a little bit too, but finding all the collectibles can be genuinely pretty hard. I found I didn't even really expect that going in. I thought this was going to be more of a high score chasing thing. But yeah, if you want to find everything in this game, there's quite a bit there. But yeah, like you're saying, if you're just here for like the story and the anime and like the late 90s vibes, it's pretty frictionless, surprisingly. Like, you can die an infinite number, or not die, but you can crash an infinite number of times in a level. Generally not going to matter too much unless you're in like the racing or the levels where you have to get a certain score before the timer's up. And even then, those levels are pretty chill for the most part. So I do think they did a masterful job of giving you compelling reasons to want to engage with the high score chasing mechanics of it if you want. But if you just want to enjoy this surprisingly very well told and done story and world, you can do that too. Speaking of that story and world, you are playing as Emi, who starts off as a ramen delivery train driver in this post-apocalyptic near-future Japan. The world, despite being post-apocalyptic, it is very like bright and colorful and even straight up beautiful. But they make it very, very clear that there was like a climate catastrophe that happened decades in the past, and that the world only looks like this again because it's been decades since like most of humanity moved to live under these domes, and nature has kind of healed at this point. So yeah, when you hear us talking about this is like a train skateboarding game and it's very silly and the soundtrack is weirdly sexy, but then you have this story about like climate catastrophe and humanity and all this stuff, the game really goes some places with its themes and story. So I don't want you to I'm saying that to really underline the fact that there is genuine depth to the story and like stuff to chew on. Like, don't think of this as the goofy train game like so many people are trying to sell it to you as. There is some like really good characterization, even if a lot of it is very like broad strokes anime tropes or whatever, but they do a really, really good job setting up this world that's run by this kind of like fascist company, Miraido. Think of that, they're almost like Shinra, but again, everything is like train oriented. Shinra from Final Fantasy VII, that is. And yeah, Miraido has like convinced all the people under the domes that like the outside world is still all messed up and the people that live out there are infected and you don't want to engage with them at all for fear of being infected or whatever. And then yeah, Emi ends up meeting at the very start of the game Fernando, who ordered some ramen from her, and just ends up changing her life and teaching her all about Denshattack and the culture surrounding it. He ends up being like your guide through the whole world of this game and introducing all these characters and explaining. He's like the Hermione of Denshattack, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And you also help him produce a Denshattack fanzine as you travel around, which is a really cool contextualization for like collectibles that you find in the levels and also learning about the world itself or whatever. But yeah, those are kind of the broad strokes of the story. I don't know if you wanted to add anything in there, Seth.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add that I think that the fanzine stuff is probably the most easily overlooked aspect of the game, but I would encourage people to spend some time with that, because when you're in a stage, there are a few different types of collectibles that you can track down. You can get these gears that allow you to purchase new trains. You can get these spray paint cans that allow you to get new stickers and skins for your train or whatever. But then every stage has this like a film reel kind of collectible that kind of denotes Fernando like getting a picture for the fanzine that he's working on. And the game, in addition to everything else it's doing, loves Japan and is like a really beautiful love letter to the country of Japan. Like, and the fanzine does a lot to not only flesh out the world and the characters a great deal, but also just really celebrate the beautiful nature and country of Japan. Like, it does such a good job of feeling like, I don't know, like almost like a tourist sort of thing. Even like the nature of train travel in Japan, it's such a big part of Japanese culture. And like, you know, no spoilers or whatever, but like the kind of final boss of the game is like a bullet train, you know, sort of thing. And you're sort of bucking against like the I don't know, the future, the removing the humanity and nature of the world. And just the idea of like, yeah, this is a game in which you are experiencing the Japanese countryside from the perspective of a train. And it's like, what's more beautiful than that? What is a better way of taking in the nature of the country of Japan than through a train? And I don't know. I think that's a low-key brilliant way of, I don't know, of speaking to that, of celebrating Japanese culture, like through this train perspective. It's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, I genuinely got real into, like, whenever I saw that I had an exclamation mark over like the centers where you compile the fanzine, I instantly was going back. I'm like, yeah, show me more pictures, but also, yeah, show me more text, like give me more history to this world. Also really liked Emmy's like food reviews of each region that you're in and stuff. I feel like I've heard this critique of Seth and I before, that we kind of sometimes maybe get too excited about things and other people don't find them as interesting. And I can totally see a world in which this fanzine aspect is one of those, but like, I'm telling you, it's brilliant. Like, whether you want to engage with it as much as I do or not is totally fine. I'm saying that like, this feels like a really interesting and like new way to contextualize a video game's world and story.
Yes.
In a way that doesn't feel forced in the slightest. It totally makes sense. Like, even just the concept of a fanzine in this like post-apocalyptic but very inspired by 90s like arcade and anime culture. Like, it doesn't feel forced in that way. It doesn't feel cloying. It is genuinely one of my favorite parts of the game, and I love everything about this game, so that's saying a lot.
I completely agree. And yeah, I think I think it's the part of the game that is the most likely to be slept on. So when you play the game, don't sleep on it, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. It is funny. I had a whole section coming up about like the different collectibles you get, but you kind of covered it in a much more succinct way than I probably would have done. I do want to quickly talk about like the trains and the different aspects of the train, like the different stats and whatever. So yeah, like Seth said, in most of the levels from like world like 4 or onwards, you can find gears, and then you can use these gears to purchase new trains. They're not just cosmetic, though they also do look very different, and some of them look super cool. I really like the cat train one in particular.
Oh, really good. Yeah.
Very, very good. But the trains and their different stats, they really genuinely change the game in like very like subtle but very significant ways, or rather subtle ways that add up significantly. So my favorite train in the whole game was the Iron Greaser, I think it was called. It kind of looks like it has a pompadour. And the whole gimmick with this one is that every time you successfully land a manual, your combo multiplier goes up an extra one. You know, normally that combo meter is only going up when you're doing tricks in the air or whatever and chaining them together. But this time, every time you successfully land a manual, it is also giving you an extra point on that score. But your window to actually successfully land a manual is vastly reduced. This really made me reanalyze like everything about the game, because up to that point of me trying this train out, I had really didn't realize how loose I was being with like when I was pressing up or down on the stick to initiate a manual. And then when I saw how punishing it could be with this Iron Greaser, but how like strong of a reward that is, like you're telling me my combo meter started skyrocketing once I really started nailing this new timing for manuals down. I've had levels where I have like over 86 like combo meter going because of this iron greaser train. I love the way these different trains make you analyze the levels. And also, because of like different level types and different levels might be more focused on grind rails versus normal train tracks versus wall runs and whatever, different trains are genuinely more suited for different levels in more ways than one. So you're really, really encouraged. Like, yeah, again, if you don't want to engage with this, you could just stick with the default train. It's going to be fine. But if you really do want to engage with high score chasing, they give you so many different options. I think there's nearly maybe even over 20 different trains in the game with different stats and everything.
Like 25 or something, yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. I was really floored by how engaged I was with the different trains. I genuinely was not expecting to find them that different. And even the first couple you get, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. But yeah, by like the second set of trains you're getting, I'm like, oh, this is really this can really change how you approach this game in a very fun and satisfying way. Did you have any specific trains you wanted to shout out?
So there's the one that is kind of like the opposite of what you're talking about, where every time it lands, it just lands in a manual, which is useful for situations where you want to get a really high combo multiplier or whatever. The downside to that is if you at any point mess that up, you just don't have a score. You just don't have any score at all. Mm-hmm. If you like crash or something like that, because you're basically comboing the entire time. So it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not like if I just use this this train, I'm automatically going to get a huge combo and get a huge score and beat the game. Like it maintains a sense of risk reward that I appreciate. I think my favorite train, I don't remember what it was called, but the modifier for it was that it just did the tricks more quickly.
Mm-hmm. I like that one a lot too.
Yeah. Like I liked being able to, because I found that getting a big like chain of tricks in midair and getting a bunch of like air combos was really effective for me. I really liked anytime you would go up like a vert sort of section and I could just chain like 5 or 6, things together before landing. Like that always felt great to me. And it was a very simple one too. Like it didn't have like a lot of, by the end of the game, there are some that have like 3 or 4 even modifiers. And usually there is a give and take. Like there's kind of a positive and a negative modifier on each train. And I was surprised at how much depth there was in that, in little ways that should be simple, but really like the game, you have just so many things that you're doing, that so many plates that you're spinning that, like, I don't know, changing the rotation of any of those spinning plates in any little way is significant. Mm-hmm. Like every little adjustment you can feel immediately, because this game makes you feel so you have to, you end up in this place where you feel so in tune with the train and the controls and like what you have to do, that any micro adjustment to that is immediately felt.
Yeah, that train that you were just talking about where your trick time is reduced. If it's the one I'm thinking of, it also then reduces your how long you can hold a manual without having to like refresh it or whatever. And while that train is still really good, I used it a lot. It really changed how I approached like manuals, because like I have to go out of my way to hunt for more spots to be able to like refresh this manual, to hop in the air, do another trick, and then refresh that manual, because otherwise I'm not going to make it to the next boost pad or the next like sharp turn to boost off of and whatever. I truly think, because when I was comparing this to Runner 2, the main like risk reward in Runner 2 is you have to play the level, but then also they introduce like the dance mechanic where you just hit the R button and your character does a little caned animation, but you can't like cancel out of it. That's the whole risk reward of Runner 2. And that boosts your score whenever you do the dance. That's a very, very, very simple risk reward mechanic there, but it's very like understandable and easy to wrap your head around. Whereas like Denshattack, even though the game overall, like on the face of it, it is just as simple as something like Ollie Ollie World or Runner 2, but these all the things you're being tasked with thinking about and doing on a moment-to-moment basis, then coupled with thinking about what train you might want to use in the scenario. This is, to me, is like the perfect, again, I don't know what you call on rails platformer high score chasers. This might be the best one of these, and the different trains and their different stats are like a huge part of that for me.
Yeah, it's also such a subversion of genre expectation, because like I think I was talking to you about this when the game introduces the fact that it has manuals in it. Manuals in a Tony Hawk game are basically a cheat code. Like manuals are like, you know, like as long as I'm good at manualing, I don't really need to worry about any sort of like high score gate or anything like that. In fact, a lot of times in a Tony Hawk game, if I'm chasing down like a high score, goal or whatever, I often will just literally manual in place and just do a bunch of tricks and chain them together and then just kind of jump and complete the combo and boom, I have it. This game, because there's so much going on, it actually doesn't like in a Tony Hawk game, a manual will require you to balance like a meter. That's not even a thing in this game. And frankly, thank God it's not, but that's not even a thing in this game. And yet the manual is not like a crutch. Like the manual is a part of your kind of like combo extension movement that you have to carefully consider and think about the best place it works into your line, because as much as it can help, it can just as easily hurt. And I think that is like a really brilliant way of like subverting that, again, genre expectation, because coming into this with like my knowledge of, you know, decades of playing Tony Hawk games, you're just like, oh, cool, I have a manual, I'm good now, you know, and that's not the case here. And I love that.
I had the exact same reaction as you when they introduced the manual. I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand how you can like more easily get gold medals. And yes, you do need it to get gold medals. Like it literally would be impossible to get most gold medals without being on the manual, I think. But yeah, it's not easy.
Right.
There are some levels where I have gotten gold medals in the high score category that I had to basically chain the entire level and like really put forth all of my effort and concentration into doing so. And it felt great, but yeah, it is a required tool. It is not a, like you're saying, a crutch. Like it is not powerful in the way that it is in Tony Hawk. And yeah, I appreciate that, but it is kind of jarring in that way if you're too used to Tony Hawk to see how not much of a crutch the manualing is.
Yeah, well, and not only that, but like one thing that I really appreciate about this game is that all of the tools that it gives you, and by the end of the game, there are quite a few, but all of them are important. Like all of them are useful in their own ways. Some of them situationally, but all of the tools you have, like none of them are like throwaway. None of them are like, I'm probably never going to use that, again. Like it's none of it is like that. Like everything is utilized, and the game is really good about, again, this is another brilliant sort of implementation of the train theming, because the game is utilizing like road signs and like flashing icons to kind of illustrate to you coming obstacles and things to do. Like it's giving you a quick and readable way to react to something with the tools that you're given. And I think that is really smart. Just a very like, you look at this game and you're like, how the hell am I gonna be able to pull any of this off? And you do. Like just when you get in there and you learn how to speak its language, like you really do get into a flow state with it, which is so important with a game like this.
The way you like accomplish stuff in this game and like master this game, or quote unquote master, is you just keep playing it, and the further in you get, the more tools the game tutorializes you on. Most of these things you can do right from the start. The game just doesn't teach you how to, and then when you do know how, you can go back and employ the manual in the first level and whatever, But I remember the moment that I really was like, oh, I don't know if I'm ever going to use this outside of this level, was the like the double grind, like the Akira slide on the train.
Yeah.
And like they do make you use it to open certain gates, but I was like, this just feels like one too many inputs for me. Like, this is too many things for me to have to consider in my head at most times in this game. But then, yeah, lo and behold, the game had a couple levels in a row where that was like a focus, and I got more used to it. And I'm like, you know what? Not only do I want to do this, it's a huge boost to your score if you're doing it, for one. But also, it just looks cool. You're literally doing the Akira slide, but on a train across multiple tracks at the same time. It's super
Makes
cool.
you go way faster, too. Yeah, that is going to be... I'm looking forward to going back in, because we did have to cram this to make this episode. So I am looking forward to going back in and like full clearing as many of the levels as I can. And I suspect that making good use of that is going to be a requirement for some of the races, especially some of the late game races that like the last like race level you have to do. I barely made it.
Yeah,
like
same.
It was tough. Yeah.
That might have been the level I had to like restart the most just to beat it. Not even to get like good at it, but just to beat it. Because on these race levels, you have to get in the top 3 to advance the level. The last notes of generalities I really had were actually these different level types, so we can go over that real quick. Things are basically broken down into these categories. You've got like simply getting to the end of a level. That's kind of like, I'd say like 2/3 of the levels in this game fall under this category, including boss fights. Boss fights are just kind of more set piecey, get to the end of the level stages. You have levels that are more giant, intricately looped circuits, and they're generally dealing with multiple goals to accomplish to beat them. Like there's vandalism you're doing, or like setting stuff on fire. Basically at the start they'll give you like 3 or 4 goals, and you have all these different paths you can choose to go down and do them in whatever order you want. Then you have these race levels that we were just talking about, where you have to finish in the top 3. And then lastly, you've got the levels that you have a certain amount of time to get your score to a certain point. These are kind of the most Tony Hawk-ish levels in the game. These are also on circuits. But yeah, I think we've kind of talked about everything in regards to like the generalities. Did you want to go on the next break, Seth?
Yeah, let's do it.
For this next break, then, we're going to give you a triple, a rare Bit Harmony triple. And we've got Tune My Ride by Sean Bialo. We got Sunshine in Seto Nakai from Andrew 1. We've got Set for Destruction by Shoji Meguro and Lotus Juice. And we'll be right back.
Now we are together in this forever. We are one and two. In this life we can see there's a reason for me and you.
I chose my road. No doubt, let's let the town and grow. Season the dark and the harvest show. Sunrise hits, now the balance glow. Same old hunger, just the strategy evolved. I don't talk, let's how reduced into actions. Breaking big goals down into fractions. Day by day, grind, no distraction. Pressure makes diamonds, not reaction. No flash rap, but I'm still gonna go. Came down, I'm ready to low. Sideways talks, they tryna tell me no. Nothing overrides me, broken bricks. End of the line, accelerate. Rules don't apply, I overtake. Cody race, I dominate, boy. Click that heartbeat, sing with around, no stop, full throttle. If I stop now, the whole world derail. When I move, you I leave sparks in the trail. Engine talk loud in the language of pain. Up here to saying how I'm loving this train. Distant thoughts, bam, 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 in my skull I rain. Still I maintain, even my brain on overload. Save the lights, flicker, but I'm stuck in go mode. They say slow down, that's the code, I'm not told. They pray for the ease, I was born for the slow. Mind in the storm, but the wheels stay bold. Hands stay steady while you back out the fold. I don't slow, I explode. I reload, case closed.
And that was Tune My Ride, Sunshine in Seto Nakai, and Set for Destruction. Tune My Ride, I just had to have this in here. It's just so damn good. Like, I'm not going to have too many notes to say about this song, but you know, you get introduced to like the customization pretty early, and the song just plays, when you're selecting your train and stickers and then color scheme and whatnot. And this was maybe the first song where I knew this was instantly going into this episode of the show.
Yeah.
Give me something to dance to leading into that synth.
That is definitely a highlight of that moment. Give me something to dance to. That is definitely a highlight of the whole soundtrack. This was the one that I stopped myself from calling sexy in my notes, but I feel safe around you. I feel safe in this forum. This is a very sexy song. This is it has that kind of like Gigi's Garage from Jet Set Radio kind of energy, chill bass line, big like stabby notes on the offbeat, really good. My favorite thing though is that little like female vocal sample that's in there. That kind of just like, I don't know, it just adds this like almost cabaret kind of like energy to it. And yeah, it's really damn good.
Yeah, I also called this song sexy in my notes. What it what it specifically really made me think of is when we did the Super Monkey Ball series episode over 2 years ago at this point, and I found out that Hideki Naganuma made most of the OST for that 3DS Monkey Ball game, and how ridiculous that is, like, to have a Monkey Ball game that with that sexy of a soundtrack.
With that kind of energy, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's really what this song most reminded me of, is an outlandish level of sex appeal in this game about skateboarding trains. Like, that's really what all I could think about with it. I will say I genuinely did stay at times in the customization menu longer than I had to, just to let it finish a loop of this.
Yeah, no, it's great. It also I don't know, it has that kind of just like hangouty kind of like energy, that kind of you want to stay there and listen to it. It's only like a minute long thing before it loops or whatever, but yeah, you want to just kind of like absorb those vibes. Yeah.
For Sunshine in Seto Nakai, this might be my favorite level in the game. It's the first level of Chapter 4, so we are going to talk a little bit more openly about like story spoilers and whatnot here. We're not going to get into like the end of the game, so don't worry about that.
Sure.
But like, we're going to talk about some plot points, I think, in this section. So, you know, I'm going to openly talk about some things that happen here at this point in the game. So if you are wanting to stay pure, I guess just leave, just get out. So this level takes place after this like big story moment. Like, Emi gets beaten in the second chapter, I think. And that's like her only real defeat in the entire game, which is very fun and interesting. So then they go off to find these legendary engineers that can like make her train better and whatever. And so that's Chapter 3 is getting those engineers. And then Chapter 4, you're going to go back to beat this other Denshattacker. And so this opening level of Chapter 4, it's like, yeah, you're making your way back. You've got these legendary, you just accomplished a huge thing. Like, you've reunited these legendary engineer brothers. You've got them to believe in you and join your side against all the odds. And they're going to come with you and work on your trains. And now you're going to go back and get revenge on this person that beat you in Denshattack. But then also you're taking this like ocean route there. And so this is the first level in the game that's like really dealing a lot with like going underwater, then coming back out of the water. The train physics are slightly different when you're underwater on the rails and stuff. Like, things are slowed down a bit and whatever. And yeah, I just love this song. It just feels like it's got this like quiet determination, you know, like so much of the game up to this point is like kind of this unstoppable, like everything's going to be great. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing and winning every battle. And so you have this setback, but Emi is still positive about it. She never is down in the dumps about anything ever, which is also pretty refreshing. Like, it actually works. Like, it doesn't come across as, again, too saccharine or too effortless or whatever. It's just the right amount of like shonen anime protagonist, the way she never gets down in the dumps about stuff. So, but yeah, you have that loss. You accomplish this goal, and now you're going back, and things are still very happy, but they're not as like, you know, they're not as like footloose and fancy free anymore. Like, there is like a mission that you're going back across the ocean, or at least this bay, to go enact your revenge or whatever. And yeah, I just really love that. I just loved, like, my jaw was on the floor the first time I was playing this level. And even the lyrics about like, the time is now to catch your train, like, you're finding a reason to like be together and stuff. I loved it, man.
I am 100% with you. This was also one of my favorite songs in the game, maybe my favorite stage in the game, maybe one of my favorite moments in the game for sure. For everything you just said, I love how like by the end of it, like, there's this crescendo where you're just going down and just like you're going in on this straightaway, and dolphins are like kind of cresting above you. It's beautiful. And yeah, I love like this is probably the section where you're like underwater the most, and you're just kind of coming in and out like you're a dolphin yourself. Like, I don't know. I really loved all of that. But yeah, to your point, about the, like, yes, this is very cheesy power of friendship, shonen anime stuff. But again, that level of earnestness really resonates with me and is very true of the game. And sometimes you just need that. Like, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. This game has a lot to say. And I think we're seeing more and more art that is about like joy being a form of resistance in a hopeful time or a hopeless time, and kind of like clinging on to the things and the people that matter to you, and just being together. I think is like, it's such a simple concept, but it's one that resonates now in this day and age more than ever for me. And again, we're seeing more and more games kind of like embrace that, I think, fully throated. And I don't know, I really appreciate that about this song and the game in general. It just, there's something about having to, like, optimism is a choice. Hopefulness is a choice. And these are things that you have to like work at achieving. And like something about the way that Emi is able to kind of, I don't know, like with her sort of dogged optimism and persistence and just like, I don't know, like enjoyment of everything that she's doing, she's able to cross all of these barriers with all of these different types of people that have been in various ways beaten down by the world and the state of the world. And even generationally, there are a couple of characters that you encounter that are like older people. These brothers that you're talking about, they're sort of, 50s, 60s kind of thing. There's another character you meet later who's an older woman. And I think it's really cool, like to have this vibe of like, coming together across generations over a shared interest in resistance. I think is really good and special. And yeah, it's conveyed in this song. Like I wrote down a lyric, now we all together in this forever, we are one and two in this life, we can see there's a reason for me and you. And man, that line hits for me, like just giving that sense of purpose to you and what you're doing and how it's important that you're just here at all in spite of everything. Damn. And you pair that with like horn solos and like an acoustic guitar hand drum breakdown, and it's just it's one of my favorite things in this whole game.
Yeah. It's funny because I want to emphasize for anyone listening, Seth and I kind of went out of our way to not talk to each other much about the game before we did this podcast. Like, this was not like planned ahead of time that we both, because I even have that same line written down that in this life we can see there's a reason for me and you. But however, if someone already forgot what the song sounded like at that point, like the singer really holds on the you, and then it blasts your ass with sexy sax right into outer space. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so good. I feel like, I don't know if I've said this on this podcast or not. To me, a solo is like a way to punctuate, like when you are coming out of that line into, this insane, sax solo. Like to me, that just serves to like, just make sure that you take notice, to bold and underline, that part of the song. And yeah, it sure as hell does. It really hit for me.
Easily kind of my favorite moment in the game. And that's saying a lot because there are incredible moments all throughout the game in terms of like the set pieces and everything. But yeah, I think it actually says a lot about how strong this moment is when this isn't like a boss fight level. You're not seeing giant kaijus walking around. There isn't a Guitar Hero mini game happening and whatever. Like this is just like a normal level in the game. It just happens to be like one of my favorite songs, and I really like the actual underwater aspect of the stage and whatever. It's fantastic. Like this song alone and this level made the entire game worth playing for me. But then it's cool that you're not even halfway through the game at this point.
Yeah, that's like the start of chapter 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it's literally I think the very opening level of chapter 4. Yeah. With Set for Destruction, this is not my normal type of song, and one that I would normally put into an episode like this. Like, to be clear, I do think the song is pretty neat and really good, especially in the context of it being like a boss fight song. However, I really wanted this one in here specifically because, yes, if you're not aware, this is the composer of the Persona games, and Lotus Juice, the singer or rapper on this, is a collaborator with Meguru for a long time. I think as far back as Persona 3, the original version, and then was really, really heavily involved with Persona 3 Reload. Like, we featured Color Your Night off of Persona 3 Reload on the mid-year 2024 episode. One of the best video game songs there has ever been. I've only grown to appreciate it more in the 2 years since then. And I had absolutely no idea that Meguru and Lotus Juice were on the Denshattack soundtrack until I heard this song in the game. You know, I don't know if I ever mentioned it on Bit Harmony. I did finally play through a Persona game. I played Persona 3 Portable a couple months ago. Really loved it. I'm honestly shocked how much I loved it, frankly. And yeah, when this song started up, I'm like, this kind of sounds like Persona 3 to me. And then when the Lotus Juice lyrics kick in,
you can tell.
I was like, no way. And I literally put the Switch down. I paused it. Normally, I would at least finish the level. But I'm like, there's no damn way they got the Persona composer in here. But they did. It's crazy. It's one of the most shocking like video game music revelations I've ever had. Maybe the most shocking I've ever had.
It's so cool. There are a couple of moments like that, and what's neat about Denshattack is it doesn't feel self-serving. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, like we got, you know, I'm not. This is not a pointed statement, but it's not just like, oh, isn't it crazy that Crush 40's in the, you know, in this game or whatever, you know, like it feels very like appropriate and a celebration again of this very specific type of music. And it comes across as like, yeah, if you're somebody that doesn't know that this is basically the Persona, you know, music team, then it's not really going to register other than, yeah, this is a pretty cool song. But when you know, like, even me, I'm not like a big Persona guy, but when I heard Lotus Juice's when I heard Lotus Juice's voice come in, I was immediately like, oh my god, it's the Persona guy. Like, it's so iconic. Like, just that is synonymous to the sound of Persona to me now. And yeah, what a treat this was to hear in the game. And it's cool for me too, because like I really love the vibe of this song. Like, the tone of it feels really like, it's like a devilish kind of tone. Like, you know that you're here to kick some shit up and stir the pot and do damage, and it like revels in that. I don't know. I really love that.
Yeah, and that's how I knew even before the Lotus Juice lyrics kicked in. Meguru's songs sound like this. In Persona, the whole series, now that I've played one and looked into other ones, like, that is the whole series. It is like about like rebellion and finding your place in this world and like bucking authority and figuring it out with your friends. Like, this is basically like a Tony Hawk Persona game now that I think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really don't have any notes specifically on the song that we haven't already touched on. It just, this had to be included because I think it is just sheer audacity to the fact that they included Meguru and Lotus Juice in here. I think is one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me with a video game soundtrack. We had to have it in here.
Well, and I also love that Japanese composers and musicians in particular seem way more willing to work with, you know, projects of this scale, like Mitsuda coming in on like Sea of Stars, and, you know, Hideki Naganuma doing tracks for Bomb Rush Cyberpunk and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, something about I don't know if it's just because like the culture is different, or if like they're just more willing to embrace the artistry of it or something, but it just seems like, you know, Undercoders, this, you know, very small team, can get in touch with Meguro and Lotus Juice and be like, do you want to make a song for my train game? I love that kind of thing is possible in 2026 at that scale. Like that's video games, baby.
Yeah, imagine Lotus Juice actually responding to your email. It's crazy. Yeah, so I don't have any other notes on those 3 songs. Again, it's just super cool that, Undercoders pulled this off. I can't even begin to imagine, I don't know, the connections you're trying to form to get a soundtrack like that. And we haven't even touched on all of them. Like, there's so many, like, very well-known and beloved collaborators on the soundtrack that we haven't even talked about. But for this last section on Denshattack, I don't know, was there anything that you wanted to talk about that we haven't gone over yet?
I was just thinking about this as we were preparing to head into this section. I'm looking at our note stock and kind of seeing where we're going next. I feel like we've done a really good job here today of hitting a lot of like the themes and like the stuff that I would have wanted to talk about on a grander scale. I think that we have like worked to that organically into this conversation throughout the course of it in a way. I mean, yeah, there are some really cool set pieces and stuff that we could talk about if you want to. I mean, there's no shortage of that, but like the themes of the game, I think we've really talked about so far. And I guess just to sort of hit it again, like this kind of earnest, sunny way of looking at a hopeless world and kind of creating these bonds and holding on to the people that matter to you and kind of just like finding the enjoyment in little things and letting that be your sense of purpose, I think is so profound in this day and age. It's also crazy that this little like Jet Set Radio Tony Hawk train trick game has a very like firmly, anti-capitalist, anti-fascist, anti-AI specifically kind of message to it too. Like there's way more going on here than you would expect. I love all the characters. I just loved this game. But yeah, I'm happy to go in any direction you want.
I mean, yeah, like if the game wasn't so new, I would love to talk about some of like the end game stuff, and especially again that that second to last boss battle that I kind of hinted at earlier that was pretty incredible. I'm just gonna say it. The second to last boss battle just turns into like Guitar Hero or Amplitude. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. Like it is Amplitude in the middle of Denshattack, and it's super sick. But when I say that, I'm not super worried about like spoiling that moment for you, because every boss fight is incredible in this game. I think maybe more than anything, the fact that they actually made really compelling boss set pieces in a game like this.
Yeah, well, by the way, when this game was first revealed and I first played the demo, I was like, oh, this is what this game is, and I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? And like the idea that it has boss fights at all is crazy, let alone at the scale and the variety that they pack in here. It is unbelievable. Yeah.
For a $20 video game, it is ridiculous, like the set pieces and the scale of them and everything. And again, this isn't me. I'm not trying to call out, like, I'm not doing the lazy devs rhetoric or whatever. That's garbage. Don't do it. But like, how much like mileage is in this game? Like how many square miles of geometry are in this game that like the Sonic team claims that is not doable for modern Sonic games? These Sonic games get filled with like different other characters that play more slowly or other gameplay gimmicks, the werehog stuff in Unleashed and whatever. But like this $20 little indie game made the best Sonic the Hedgehog game ever. And there's no furries in it, which is also crazy.
There is a furry in it, to be clear. There is one furry.
There is one furry.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's really cool. Like the characterization of all of the characters. Like this game is that perfect like indie game example of doing a lot with a little, in that like the characters that you meet don't really get that, like, all that much screen time. There are some animated cutscenes and, you know, they're voiced and stuff like that. But if you look at the totality of how much of that stuff is actually in the game, you know, the vast majority of the actual characterization you're getting from the characters happens in little bits of dialogue while you're like on the tracks and playing the game. And I think it's really remarkable how much they got out of that. I also think it's remarkable, especially in those exploration stages where you have like different objectives and you kind of have to go and tackle them and then loop back around to kind of a hub and like swap tracks to go somewhere else. How intricately that they must have had to design that.
Dude,
like
those levels are genuinely like confusing. I say that in like a positive way. Like you actually have to learn how to navigate those levels in a way I was not expecting.
Yeah, and you feel like an actual like train conductor or something. Like you feel like, oh, like I have to watch out for these signs and kind of the contours of the track and the way that the tracks are going. I have to know when to swap properly and stuff and maybe hit switches or whatever. And like confusing in like a pleasant way. Like in a there's this there's this trend that's going around is like asking men if they think they can land a plane in an emergency situation, and most men think they can. You know, this is kind of like that where I'm like, damn, dude, like like commanding a train even like this is so complicated, and it really made me appreciate the complexities of trains in like our real life. I don't know. That was really spectacular to me. Just the way that they laid all of those exploration tracks out.
It's so funny, that dudes think they can land an airplane or whatever. Because to bring it also back to trains, when I was going to pick Boogs up from the central station when he was visiting Hamburg a few months ago, I was like, where the hell is his train supposed to be coming? Like, this is just like a simple, it is the central station. There's a lot of trains there, but still I'm like, I feel like I should have been able to figure this out, but I couldn't. But then the idea that, some frat bro thinks he can land a damn plane.
Yeah. It's like, I bet I could do that. Like in an emergency situation, if I had to, I bet I could land a plane. It's like, no, you can't, you idiot. Yeah. And it's funny because like, that is something that you just have to, especially in Japan where, like so much, like there's a point in the game where, and I knew that they had to do this, the Yamanote line, which is like the most famous train line in Japan. It kind of goes everywhere. You do have a stage in the game, probably the biggest exploration stage of the game, just is the Yamanote line. And it's just really cool. Like, it's just really cool to kind of like send all of that up in this game. Like, this game is not only a send up of the things we keep mentioning, Sonic, Tony Hawk, Jet Set Radio, all this stuff. Not only is it a celebration of the country of Japan and Japanese culture, it's also a celebration about trains. Like, it's also like a really good game that loves trains. And I don't know, man. I love that. Like, that kind of stuff is infectious to me.
Yeah. Like, I've always thought trains were neat conceptually, and I always appreciate them, especially, again, living in a big city with a very well thought out train system. Like, trains are cool as hell, but I never really appreciated like the design of trains until this game, like on that level of it. You hear that, Parker? This is like the best train game ever made.
Yeah, this is for you, Parker.
I think I'm good leaving it there. Do you want to go on our final Denshattack break then?
Let's do it.
For this break, we've got Take Me Higher from T-Lopes and Forgotten Snowfields by Too Mellow, both from Denshattack, and we will be right back. And again, that was Take Me Higher and Forgotten Snowfields. So we keep talking about like how big and varied the soundtrack is and how many guest composers, how many like composers just period worked on this. And yeah, we hadn't broke for any T-Lopes or Too Mellow until this point. So I'm like, yeah, we have to. We have to. There's no way. And then when it came time to decide which ones, I feel like I picked some weird ones. But I mean, I like them. But yeah, Take Me Higher. This just got on here because of just the audacity of like full frontal harmonica usage.
Dude, my first note is the instrumentation in this is crazy. Where do you get off putting harmonica in this? Like, yeah, full frontal harmonica, shamisen. What gives you the right?
I dare anyone listening to this song for the first time, like whether you first heard it in Denshattack or just now on this podcast, I dare you, when you heard the first 30 seconds of the song, to try and tell me that you were not surprised when the harmonica starts up, because it's crazy.
It's crazy, but the more I think about it, I guess it does kind of make sense. Like, yeah, the harmonica does give that kind of like train hobo vibe, right? Like, I think that's a pretty classic thing. But yeah, this song to me is the dark horse of this episode. And I mean, both of these songs, I guess, are kind of the dark horse songs of this episode. But this specifically really does feel like T-Lope's his kind of like Naganuma Jet Set Radio like tribute track. Like just the insane samples that are in here is very Hideki Naganuma coded. The movement of it, it's extremely Hideki Naganuma coded to me. But then at 129, there's a little bit of like radio static that to me feels like an acknowledgement of that. Like, hey, this is my Jet Set Radio like tribute track almost, is kind of like the vibe that I got from this, which is really cool to hear from T-Lopes, who, you know, like a very, you know, talented and varied composer. We've played a bunch of T-Lopes music on this show, but I don't know that I've ever heard T-Lopes make music like this, you know, and really cool to see kind of another like shade or texture to him and his music.
Yeah, actually, what I realized while I was doing notes just a couple hours ago for these two songs is Take Me Higher sounds way more like a Too Mellow song to me.
Absolutely.
And then Forgotten Snowfields kind of sounds more like a T-Lopes song to me. And
absolutely.
Again, I don't know if that was like actually on purpose in any way or whatever, but it's probably not. It's probably just a coincidence. But yeah, you're totally right. Like this is to me T-Lopes doing a Jet Set, like, yeah, Send Up or whatever song, something that would have really fit into Jet Set. But yeah, it's the instrumentation of this song that really got it on
it's
here.
It's crazy.
Again, harmonica, but then they also do like the old school Kanye West, like chipmunk voice sample stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's really crazy, but yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and then we like Forgotten Snowfields, like I have not sat down and really ranked like the songs. This is definitely in my top 3 though. This one would be in my top 3 favorite songs in the game, I think. Yeah.
I haven't done that work yet either. I don't know if I would go that far, but it weirdly is definitely my favorite Too Mellow song on here, which I was not expecting either. I feel like in terms of the other Too Mellow songs on the soundtrack, probably most people would have been expecting Riot Academy, which it's fantastic. Like it is really, really good, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something about Forgotten Snowfields. I think just because of like how late in the game this plays, and then yeah, how different this song feels compared to most of the other songs in the game. But again, this also doesn't even sound that much to me like a Too Mellow song. Like yeah, it is doing again some of like the Jet Set stylized like voice sampling and whatever, but it honestly reminds me more of something from like Pepper Grinder than Jet Set.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah. It's pretty like spooky. Like I think that's what hit me so much about like this portion of the game and this song is like just the tone of it was so cool and strange. Like just this bass line and like those wailing like X-Files ass synths that it has, and like I have tagged at 119 like these harmonies and like this ethereal vocal track behind them. Like the whole thing has this kind of like quiet, still snowfield, supernatural, ghost-like vibe. And there, I don't know, like to have that in this game, I think, is like, it's so accentuated because so much of the game is not this.
Right.
And so this stands out all the more. It really was a standout moment and track for me.
I hadn't landed on the 2 Mellow song representation yet, and I just kept listening to a few of them, and it really came down to this. And I agree. I think this is like the black sheep pick of this episode, but I love it. It is, like I said, it is way up there for me in terms of this whole soundtrack. But I don't really have any other notes for either of these. Did you?
Nope, I'm good. It's just this, and by the way, this soundtrack is a feast. Like, it is a total feast. Like, even we've played some great music on this episode, and we've done some great highlighting of great songs. There's so much more like in the full game. Like, this is the one to beat. I can't imagine anything else tops this game's soundtrack for me this year.
Yep, I'm fully there. I would be pretty surprised if anything topples it, both in terms of quality, but there's over 80 damn songs on this thing, and
it's wild.
It's all readily available on YouTube if you just want to listen for free. It's also purchasable and everything. Please, check out the game, check out the soundtrack, whatever. Just check out Denshattack. It is. I was excited going into it, obviously, but it blew me away. Like, the story, the actual what it did for evolving this type of high score attack gameplay. It really, really is the one to beat soundtrack wise, and probably like my third, maybe even second favorite game of the year so far this year.
I think it's my second. Yeah.
It is incredibly good. So please check out Denshattack. If you're ready, then we do have the YouTube comment oversharing corner to get to.
Let's do it.
This is the section of the show where we read off any funny, memorable, interesting, or downright insane comments we've stumbled across while grabbing songs for this episode. Based on the fact that this soundtrack and game are both pretty new, there wasn't that much here, but there were still some ones. We were able to grab a few. First up, we've got YouTube user Endero Sama commented on I Like the Way 5 days ago. Man, I love how in the game there's like railroad crossing sound effects that fill in alongside the actual song itself. We need in-game mixes for sure, man. And very, very tame YouTube comment by our standards, but I just really, we talked about that when we talked about I Like the Way, that I really, really love all like the train references and stuff that they managed to fit into the soundtrack. I just thought it was cool to highlight it one final time here in the YouTube comment section.
Yeah, there are a couple of songs that really put that front and center in the game as well. So I really appreciate that too. Very, very cool. We have a comment here from the Rookie Gamer 2610, commented on Beppu Ramen Express 3 days ago. Incredible song to open with. Like, what do you mean this is only the first level? Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Not only is it the first level, it's just the tutorial. Like, this is literally the tutorial music. You can't even jump until the game tells you to jump in this level. Best opening level theme of all time, maybe. It's certainly up there, especially tutorial level. It is immaculate. Next up, we've got YouTube user Reperanger7 commented on Take Me Higher 2 weeks ago. Jet Set Radio really set in stone an entire video games music genre. I feel like I gotta explode with creative expression and fight back against an oppressive system with this beat. And again, really serving to underline that, the story themes of the game. Like, that just being alive is in and of itself an act of rebellion. Like that, it's a beautiful sentiment again in this train skateboarding game.
Yeah, and also I like what they say about like exploding with creative expression. That also is very much in this style of this game. It something that we maybe didn't talk about enough is how much player expression there is, not only in just like the trains you choose and the the stickers and skins you put on the train or whatever, but even just the way that you navigate through the level. Like, I can't wait to watch the speedrunning community get a hold of this and like see the way that people play this game. It just feels very yeah, very expressive in a way that that I really love. And yeah, I'm a huge Jet Set Radio fan. So yeah, this one resonated with me for sure.
Give me all gold medals run at GDQ in a few months. I will lose my damn mind.
Yeah, dude. I'll wake up at like 2 a.m. to watch that one. YouTube user Samu Games 0 commented on. I think it says Mass Destruction here, but is this what? Isn't the song like something else?
Yes, it is. Mass Destruction is from Persona 3. That's why it was in my head when I noticed this. It's Set for Destruction is the song title. Yeah.
Set for Destruction. Well, maybe that actually is probably a reference then. Now that you mention
it, it absolutely is. Yeah.
Nice. Well, they commented on Set for Destruction then 6 days ago, all caps. They've got who in Denshattack? Yeah, that's pretty much the reaction.
Yeah. Again, all these YouTube comments are kind of just serving to underline everything that we talked about this episode already, but it really, I can't emphasize enough. The only thing more shocking than Meguro composing a song for Denshattack is our closer of the episode, but we'll save that, I think, for when we get there. Last comment we got here is YouTube user non-existent491 commented on Coastline Funk 3 days ago. Reminds me of ... Ring Fit Adventure? I've never really listened to Ring Fit OST, but this sounds a lot like the one certain song.
Okay, so this is not even a song that like we broke for. It's part of like our mix, and we have it, you know, as background music, I think, tagged. I just saw this comment and I knew I wanted to include it in the episode because I don't think I've ever read a less helpful YouTube comment than this. Like, reminds me of Ring Fit Adventure. Saying that, comparing it to Ring Fit Adventure is one thing. I've never listened to it, but this sounds like the one certain song. What the hell are you talking about?
My hunch would be that they had like a Nintendo Music mix up and they heard a Ring Fit Adventure song that they thought was cool and it stuck in their brain, but not the title or anything else.
Just like the idea of like going into the YouTube comments of a Denshattack song, comparing it to Ring Fit Adventure, but not only admitting that you've never really listened to it, but that like that you don't even know the song you're talking about. Why say anything?
Why say anything?
Crazy.
Learn to sit back and observe. Yeah.
Not everything needs a reaction.
Okay, you've played more Ring Fit than I have. I played a little bit of it a few years ago. I got it for my wife for Christmas, and like we both really liked it, but due to circumstances, the cat always attacked us when we were playing it. Yeah. We gave up. I was tired of bleeding from claw marks trying to work out. Does this actually remind you of anything from Ring Fit Adventure?
I guess. I do like the music of Ring Fit Adventure, but yeah, I guess I'll take non-existent 491 at their word that it sounds a lot like the one certain song.
I mean, like, I remember thinking it was good, the Ring Fit Adventure soundtrack, but I didn't listen enough to like be able to like pull anything up to mind. I can also see like, I don't know, like especially in the early levels, like running around these like pastoral environments while like squeezing the ring and stuff. There's probably something that sounds vaguely Denshattack in there. I could see that being the case. Our last thing here is not a comment. I just wanted to shout out, it was very helpful that YouTube user Hoppy Sing or Hoppy_Sing commented on, as far as I can tell, every single song on the Denshattack soundtrack with what stage it plays on in the game, because the stage names are different than the song names, and that's just useful. I appreciate that. There were a couple times when I wanted to, what stage did this play on, just to make sure without turning the game on myself. And yeah, that was genuinely super helpful. I really appreciate it. Every time I went to a new song on YouTube, I'm like, did Hoppy Sing comment on this? And sure enough, they did.
Yeah, Hoppy Sing, if you for some reason are listening to this episode of the podcast, consider this a job application, because if you could do this for every game we cover, that'd be sick.
Also, if you can tell us what Ring Fit song that Coastline Funk sounds like, that would also be.
If you can, let's put out a bounty for whoever can identify the one certain song from Ring Fit Adventure.
And that has been the YouTube comment oversharing corner this episode. However, we do have a little bit of voicemails to get into. We've got one from Fulia, and we've also got a bot harmony. Since the bot harmony is quick and relatively painless, maybe, let's play the bot harmony first.
Does sicko even mean anything anymore? Yes. Yes.
Wait, what?
Well, you can play it again if you want.
Yeah, let me hear it again.
Does sicko even mean anything anymore? Yes. Yes.
The ending is crazy. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I purposely chose a dumb bot voice that pronounced that as wrong as possible. So again, multiple references packed into this text. Our previous episode was Sicko Songs of Summer.
Yeah.
And then Bot Harmony is asking, does Sicko even mean anything anymore? And then the last chunk of it is, of course, referencing, was it The Onion, that comic where it comes from, like a creepy dude in the window is looking through and on his shirt says sickos, and then he's saying yes, ...
Yeah.
Ha, 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 ha. Yes.
Is it like is it like Gargamel from the Smurfs or something like that?
It definitely looks like that. I don't think it's actually supposed to be him though, but I totally see where you're coming from with it.
Yeah. It's funny because I do think that sicko is becoming overused.
Yeah,
which is a bummer to me because I really like saying sicko. I think it's a fun word. And I think that it conveys like I don't know, like sicko means, like something that's really for the heads, like in the weeds, hardcore or whatever. And I do think it's a fun, like, shorthand for that. But like most things, it is getting overused, and it will get to a place with me eventually where I get annoyed by it. But right now I still like sicko.
Yeah, I feel like, for the heads is more like used by people more hip and with it than sicko right now, and even then, that For the Heads has been around for a couple of years, so it's probably not actually for the people that are hip and with it now. But I still like it. But yeah, I'm with you. Like people, I loved the word slop to describe AI slop and blah blah blah. But it was around the time where people started calling stuff like peak friend slop, and I understand where they're coming from with it. I don't even necessarily disagree. But I didn't like the the derogatory connotations with it, because I think peak is kind of amazing. I think again, even though I understand what they mean with friend slop, I think having slop in there at all to describe a game like that is doing it a disservice. So yeah, I have fully fallen off the slop train, but I'm still here for sicko.
Yeah, I'm still. I'm for now. I am. We'll see if I take a turn and do a heel turn on sicko eventually. But for now, I like sicko.
We're gonna have to go back and change that episode title retroactively.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for the bot harmony. Again, if you send in a text message, we'll have bot harmony read it. But what we prefer are voicemails, like this one sent in from Fulia.
Hello, Bit Harmony friends. It is I, the koala from down under, who sounds a little weird today. I am unfortunately unwell, so that's why my voice does not sound as great as it usually does, although I don't even think it sounds that great in the first. Anyway, that's not what I am here to talk about. I am here to talk about a couple of video game music tracks that I have heard in the last, I'd say one which in the last couple of days at the time of recording, and another in the last month or so, and only because I've also been sort of playing the soundtrack too. So I'm going to start off with the more recent one, and it is from the game to a T. Now, I know, you guys have already mentioned some tracks from the To a T OST, and it was like I already knew about some of those songs, like especially from like trailers and all that. but I hadn't actually gotten around to playing the game until now. At the time of recording, I have just recently rolled credits on the game, and I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and I love the little message of nobody's perfect, or nobody needs to strive for perfection, that sort of thing. And I really love that. And the game is just really quirky. I absolutely loved the quirkiness of the game. It was really cool. And the characters and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. To a T, very good game. Definitely would recommend. And the music just really took me aback when I was playing the game as well. I really
Hell yeah.
Was not like, I knew there was going to be some really good music in here. Of course, you guys have already mentioned it. But hearing it firsthand while playing the game, honestly, I was just like jamming out every time I was like playing the game, or every time we got the little episodic breaks, the intros and the outro music. I've gotten to the point where now I'm like, okay, I know the lyrics, I can sing along. I like that it gives us the little karaoke style lyrics at the bottom of the screen, so you can sing along with it, which I have been every time the songs come on. So that's been really cool. But also the music that plays in each of the episodes, just the general sort of background music that we get for different, I suppose, different scenes and different characters. And without kind of spoiling anything, but I feel like the title of this song, of this particular track, is probably going to give it away. It's called Bipedal Dog by Sakai Asuka. And I that particular segment of the game threw me through a loop, but I wasn't sure what was happening.
Don't worry, we spoiled that on the mini anyways.
But the music for this particular section was actually really, really intriguing. So I really, really enjoyed listening to that, and I hope you guys will enjoy it too. And then the second track that I want to mention and give a shout out to is for a song, actually it is a song from the Hades OST. I've recently been playing Hades a little bit. I've not been much of a player that goes out to play roguelike games, but considering that I had Game Pass and this was on it, I thought, you know what, let me just give it a go. And I've just been really kind of enjoying that game, surprisingly. To my surprise. I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I am. So I'm really glad that I'm playing Hades. Love the art style. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The character designs, wonderful. Love the character designs.
Yeah.
And then the voice acting for each of the characters, of course, has been really nice to sort of listen to, and the overall story, especially considering that Zagreus is trying to escape, escape hell. And yeah, one song that from this particular game that really had me just sit there and listen to it in the game was the Eurydice song, Good Riddance. I as soon as she started singing, when I came across her in the game, I just sat there and let her sing the whole thing before I interacted with her. It was just so lovely and beautiful. And I didn't want it to stop. I just wanted her to keep singing. But then I realized what time it was when I was playing the game. So I was like, oh, okay, I need to keep going. So yeah, I really loved Good Riddance, the Eurydice solo featuring Ashley Barrett from the Hades OST. And yeah, I'd like for you guys to hear it as well. And thank you so much for having me on the pod via voicemail. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Fulia.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, Fulia, or emailing in. I guess not calling. Yeah, I guess let's go on a break then, and we'll come back and respond more directly to Fulia's message at large and also the song requests. Fulia requested Bipedal Dog from To a T. That is by Sakai Asuka. And then Good Riddance from Hades, that is composed by Darren Korb and is featuring Ashley Barrett. And we'll be right back. And again, Bipedal Dog from To a T and Good Riddance from Hades. Hey, Bipedal Dog, super cute song. I mean, the dog in To a T in general is just super cute. But yeah, this is actually a song I was heavily considering for use in the To a T mini episode that we did, like, what was that, like a month and a half ago at this
Something
point?
like that. Yeah.
I don't have too much to say about it. It's very short, but it really nails the like with the piano keys. It really sounds like the clumsy, unsure footsteps of like a dog walking on two legs or whatever, right? Like it really brings to mind someone sort of stumbling around and catching themselves.
Yeah, I had a similar note to that with the piano keys, and also like the kind of the harmonizing like clarinets and oboe and stuff, and using these kind of like instruments that are typically considered more refined in a way, in an intentionally kind of like clumsy way, I think really kind of sells the whole concept here. Yeah. And then around 52 seconds, when the strings start to come in and the piano becomes more forward, like it kind of gives it a sense of like, okay, like let's lock in. It gives it a sense of drama or urgency that I like. It's a great little song.
Yeah, it again just like super cute, and really sells like what's going on at that point of the game, like the goofiness, but also kind of the harrowingness at that point of what's going on in a way. I'm very excited to get a voicemail in, I guess, from anyone talking about these two games, but from Fuya specifically. I feel like I've seen a lot more people talking about 2 a T in the last couple months. I don't know if that's just the Switch 2 release. I know Fuya just played it on PlayStation. The timing, I think, is just coincidental. But it's been nice seeing like a lot of 2 a T talk in the past like couple months. And
I think Spriteless picked it up also after our mini. Yeah,
and I don't know. It's just been again, I missed out on it too. I didn't play it until we did that episode or right before that episode, and it's just been nice because that game feels like it just really came and went without like anyone really talking about it beyond like some kind of dismissive, like, oh, it's the next game from Katamari creator. Oh, but it doesn't really play anything like Katamari kind of thing. That's kind of the vibe I was getting from it. Whereas it has a lot going on, a lot to say. And I'm just glad even here in the Denshattack episode, we're still giving 2 a T a lot of flowers, I guess.
It deserves it. Yeah, it deserved better than it got. And it's a really special little game if you're kind of willing to meet it where it's at. And the music is just incredible. So, and I guess to point y'all, if you're interested, to the mini episode of 2 a T we did. Normally our mini episodes are exclusive to Patreon. That one we made freely available. So it is on this feed wherever you're listening if you want to hear more 2 a T. So
and we specifically made that one available to everyone because of the fact that we felt more people should play the game. So there you go. With good riddance, I'm not going to have too much to say about this. For one, I forgot about this song. I haven't played Hades 1 in 6 years nearly at this point. Very beautiful. It was very like I instantly got a huge wave of nostalgia. Specifically, when Hades 1 came out, that was like 2 months before I moved from America to Germany, and I was working like a second shift job. So I'd stay up later ish. Like I'd stay up till like 2-3 in the morning, going to work at like 1 in the afternoon kind of thing. So Hades was my companion on Switch for the last couple months before I moved. And I will tell you what listening to the song specifically brought to mind is the night shortly before the election in 2020 where they announced that Trump got COVID. It was at like 3 a.m. I had actually just put down Hades for the night, thinking I was done for the night, but no, it was like a party on the internet that night. That was maybe the last time the internet felt like a nice, fun place. That's what the song brought to mind. And sorry to associate this very beautiful song that you called in for Fuya with like one of the worst people in the modern age, but that's what it made me think of. But it was a very happy memory about that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I remember that day too. There are a couple of moments, like unifying internet moments like that that I really love. Remember when there was like all this like Miiverse art in like Splatoon that was about Palestine and stuff. Yes. I'm like, hell yeah, dude, this rules.
Yeah, I literally was going through like old screenshots and stuff, and I saw some of that recently. It's very, very good.
Yeah, like that's what it's all about. But yeah, I'm same thing. I was pretty nostalgic hearing this too. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, Fulia. I think it's really cool. By the way, y'all can take Fulia's example. Like, I love the idea of like just call in and tell us what you're playing and like share some music with what you're playing. Like, I love that. And yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about the song itself. Other than I will tell you, Fulia, that not only did I have the exact same experience when I do remember that moment of like approaching Eurydice and like hearing that and stopping and listening to it and you know, just letting her sing the whole song. Ashley Barrett pops up. She's kind of, there are a few little like staples of Supergiant Games, and she's one of them. Like every Supergiant Games game has like a moment like that, like even all the way back to Bastion, the very first one where she sings Build That Wall, and it's like a similar thing where like you're approaching and you just hear like like, and you're just like, what is that, you know? And just there's something about that, just kind of being drawn to that song. I really like it. I'll also tell you, Fulia, that if you finish the game fully, there is another sort of duet version of this song with Orpheus that you should look out for, which is really good. I also, if you wind up playing Hades 2, she sings Artemis's song in Hades 2, which is also very good. So yeah, that's kind of like her trademark of Supergiant Games, is like there's always a moment like this where you kind of just stop and listen to Ashley Barrett sing. So very good.
I was trying to remember, because again, I loved Hades 1. I put like 300 hours into that thing. I couldn't remember. I remembered the song and the voice, but I couldn't remember which character specifically Eurydice was.
Yeah.
And then, I Googled, like portrait character art of Hades 1. And I was like, damn, man, even though I just played Hades 2 last year, you really forget how good the character portrait art is.
So good.
Across both Hades 1 and 2, incredible. And yeah, then I saw Eurydice. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the tree bark lady. Like, she's got like a tree kind of growing out of her. That's like my second favorite design in the game. I just forgot about it. That's how strong all of the character designs are across all of both Hades 1 and 2. I think her and Nyx, those are my two favorites, which, represent my exact types. You got Goth Mommy and Tree Mommy over here.
Yeah, I mean, really, that all of the Supergiant Games, I am surprised that we have not yet covered one like fully on the show. We should remedy that at some point. I would love to do a Transistor episode. That's still my favorite game of theirs.
That's the only game of theirs I have not played. I own it like 3 times over. I downloaded it on my Switch like 6 months ago, and I just never got around to it.
Yeah, we got to do that at some point. I love that game.
Yeah, all their games are very, very good. But I also real quick, this has been going on longer than I expected, but want to shout out Fulia and I actually did talk about Hades a decent bit on the recent mini Indie Van episode. Yeah. And I got to reveal to her that Zagreus and Skelly have the same voice actor, and she was very blown away by it.
Yeah. Very, very talented. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I forgot. We should mention that. Fulia for Carpool Gaming hosts the Mini Indie Van podcast, and yeah, you were on the latest episode of that show. So if you want to hear Matt talking about some of their favorite games, indie games of the year so far, you can go listen to that. Very good stuff.
Those were your voicemails for this episode of the show. As a reminder, you can send in voicemails or texts to bitharmonypod@gmail.com, or you can call those in at 216-230-8540. That number again is 216-230-8540. If you are dialing that in, you want to keep that under 3 minutes because Google Voice will cut you off. But yeah, we love hearing from you. And yeah, I agree. It was pretty fun just getting the voicemail from Fulia that's just like, hey, this is what I'm playing and this is some music from it. That's pretty fun.
Love that. Yeah. I encourage anybody to do that if you guys want to. And a good chance to play some cool music and talk about some cool games. So yeah, you are more than welcome to do that. Please do. yeah, and you can join Discord, our Discord. We have links in the show notes. That's free to join. You can hang out, talk to us there too about what you're playing. We love to hear from you there. And consider supporting on Patreon for early access and other exclusive perks. This is the part of the show where I like to thank the people that do that. Bit Harmony is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you. Thank you to our Triforce tier supporters, Adam Caparello, Bowza, Quagmire, Dan and Luma, Danilina Hosa, SAZ, John Cummins, and Ligerwoods 330.
Hold
the
up.
first,
Wow.
I know.
You had to remove Uncle Randy, huh?
This is the first one without Uncle Randy.
The first Randy list episode.
We have to stop and pour one out. So here's the deal. I think I mentioned this in the last episode. Uncle Randy's, I think, card expired.
Right.
And I don't want to be the guy to tell him like, hey, Uncle Randy, I think your card expired. Could you fix that on the Patreon? Like, I don't want to do that.
Here, give me his email and I'll send an anonymous threatening. You should re-up your subscription.
Think about re-upping your subscription, Uncle Randy. Yeah, next time I talk to him, I might kind of mention it or something like that, or maybe I'll try to find a way to like subtly put a bug in his ear about it, because it was very helpful. He paid us a lot of money every month. Anyway, this is the first Uncle Randy list Patreon shout out, so pour one out. I hope to add him back in the future.
You hear that, everyone else? You can't leave.
Also,
SAZ, never leave us.
Also, thanks to our Golden Banana tier supporters: Big Dogs Only, Bill Tucker, Dill Pickle, Foolish Fuji, Gamer Jason, Hopple, John 32, Liam D, Old Drake, Phelan Ward, Rob Yapel, Shy Guy, thank you Shy Guy, Sean Ashton, Spriteless, and Steven Keller. We really appreciate y'all for your support. Join their ranks over there on Patreon. Links are in the show notes. And yeah, we have a bunch of exclusive mini episodes on Patreon that you can check out too if you like the show. Not only does it help support us, fill the void that Uncle Randy left behind, and support us on Patreon and be rewarded with some very good exclusive episodes of this show.
Which we will be doing. I'll just rip this Band-Aid off. We are going to be doing a Sonic R mini soon. I think the timing isn't quite right to promise you that like next week, but we are doing a Sonic R mini episode pretty soon, probably after the next main episode. So if that sounds tantalizing to you, get your credit cards ready. Sonic R is coming at you.
It should be tantalizing to you, by the way.
Yeah. Geez, talk about like a just 90s dreamscape video game soundtrack. Speaking of next full episode, our next one should be going up on August 9th. That is going to be on Trails in the Sky, first chapter. Seth approached me digitally and said, we need to do a Trails in the Sky episode. You just beat first chapter like a week ago. I played it for review last year. We talked about it on the best soundtracks of 2025 episode. I haven't been this excited to do like a specific episode of the show in a while. Trails in the Sky first chapter is amazing. Second chapter is out in like a month and a half or something. It's gonna be a big one. I'm very excited.
Hell
about
yeah.
this.
Hell yes, dude. I can't wait. Yeah, I love the game too, and I will reserve everything I have to say for that episode. But there's a lot to talk about, and the soundtrack is unbelievable. So yeah, can't wait.
That might be the first time we've ever upgraded. Like we covered it briefly as part of a broader topic, and now it's getting its own episode. That might be the first time that's ever happened.
That's cool.
Not 100% sure about that, but yeah, Trails in the Sky first chapter should be coming August 9th. Please do look forward to it. With all of that out of the way, this episode did balloon a little bit past the point where I thought it would be. We do have the much anticipated return of the haiku segment. We haven't done this in a little while because we weren't doing game specific episodes. Seth, do you want to go first or second with your haiku?
I'll go first because mine is dumb. I went the route that we've done a couple of times where you sort of adapt a good quote from the game as a haiku. There are a lot of good little bits of writing, but this was, I think, my favorite quote in the entire game. I took a screenshot of this. I loved it. So here goes. It's no secret that delivering the tofu will hone your balance. I just love that. There's a stage where you have to deliver tofu, and like I think it might be when you're learning how to do manuals, maybe, but the whole concept is that you're delivering tofu and you're trying not to like spill it and stuff, and yeah, one of the characters says it's no secret that delivering the tofu will hone your balance. I just thought that was a great line.
That's pretty incredible. I do remember that line, but I didn't do the like syllable counting in my head to realize that it would work out.
Yeah, I think the full line, I think, is like delivering tofu is the best way to hone your balance. I did adapt it a little. But yeah, I knew I wanted to shout that specific line out in this episode.
Yeah, that's a great line. That's a great bit of context also for it. Learning how to do manuals by delivering tofu. For my haiku, I like how you volunteered to go first because it was dumb, as if mine isn't going to be any less dumb. For this one, you'll see what I was going for in a second. Life is rebellion. I shout to uncaring skies. Answer your emails.
Had to get it in one last time. Hell yeah, dude.
I've changed. The light has gone out inside of me a little bit over the course of the past week. Hey, it provided for a good bit on this episode of the show, so I guess I can't complain too much. Your outro this episode is Infinite Sky from Denshattack. This was done by Sean Bialo and Takanobu Mitsuyoshi. And before we let you go, just know that Takanobu Mitsuyoshi is indeed the singer from Daytona, USA.
Yeah.
His singing on this song immediately, unlike the Meguru, the Persona composer, where I was like questioning myself a little bit, within like 3 seconds of the singing in Infinite Sky starting up, I'm like, oh, this is the Daytona USA guy, and that is cool as hell.
If you have played Daytona USA, you'll clock it right away. Like it sounds just like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It is the musical sequel to Daytona USA, basically.
Baked into this game.
Baked into this train skateboarding game about fighting capitalism and fascism and AI and all of that. So again, outro is Infinite Sky from Denshattack. Join us next time for Trails in the Sky first chapter. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Let's go. I'll be counting valley, best in the world. Never rest until I'm ready. て